To import our external files to Manim, we first have to configure our assets folder, that is, the directory where Manim will look the files by default. In Chapter 3, we saw that, by default, Manim will look for assets in the directory where we are currently positioned in the terminal. If you don't know where you are positioned, you should use the pwd command. This directory is known as the current working directory. We will first study how to import images, download the image called test image, and move it to your current working directory. Manim can receive images in JPG, ICO, PNG, and PNG with transparency. To import an image in Manim, you have to use the ImageM object class, and in a string you have to indicate the name of the file. If you have an image in different formats, you must also write the format so that Manim can distinguish it. And voila, this is all we have to do. As we saw in Chapter 3, you can configure the directory using the CFG files or using the config dictionary. I recommend that you always use the CFG file to define the assets directory. The most common is to create an assets folder to store all external files. To know the directory where Manim is looking for the assets, you can print the assets dir attribute of the config dictionary. If you get an error, it is because Manim is looking for the file elsewhere. Check it with the config dictionary. As we saw at the beginning of the course, all images in Manim are an array of pixels. To visualize this arrangement, we can use the pixel array attribute. Knowing this, it is possible to manipulate every pixel in the image, or entire ranges if you know how to do it. For example, we can know the height of the image in pixels if we calculate the number of elements of the pixel array attribute. And in the same way, we can calculate the width by calculating the size of the first element. If we want to cut an image in half, we simply have to remove half of its elements. Although the image looks a bit stretched, I'll leave it up to you to figure out how to solve it. If you already have the pixel matrix, you can use the ImageObject class to create it, keeping in mind that you must convert your data to the corresponding format. There are several algorithms to display pixels. In the documentation you can see them all. As an exercise, download the image with transparency and import it into a file with a different background color to check the transparency. In the next video, we will learn how to import SVG files and some advices.